Hello, Dr. Martino. This is Kane Wilson from your Education 525 class. Here to talk about dispositions. Basically, a person's dispositions from a personal aspect are their inherent qualities of mind and character, their temperament, their mentality, their genetic makeup, whatever kind of makes them who they are, their values, commitments, professional ethics, that all influence behaviors towards students, families, colleagues, and communities. Student learning and achieving, motivation and development, all are part of the dispositions of a teacher and what we are striving to be our best at, which is being a teacher and working with kids and bringing the best out of those kids. The dispositions that I have personally, the good ones are my temperament, my compassion, my understanding quality, like I'm very understanding. I have failed a lot and overcome those failures, so I have persevered through a lot of things in life and still doing it till this day. I am a champion. I am a leader. I'm a hard worker. I love working in a disciplined environment, and I love being disciplined, and I like accountability and just being held accountable for things. I'm also great with kids. I have tons of nieces and nephews, and I've worked with special ed kids before, and I just have a passion for impacting the youth and impacting kids with learning disabilities and different barriers in front of them, and I just want to help them and impact them in a way that I was when I was a kid, because I've also had learning disabilities and overcome those through school and whatnot, so I can relate to them as well. Things I need to work on in the classroom. Question number 2. I would need to work on my patience, I believe, just a little bit. I think I get that from my father. Listening and comprehending more in the moment. That just comes with my ADHD and stuff that I'm still to this day working on. But just focusing in the moment, comprehending would be an important thing. Public speaking, I've always been a little nervous about public speaking, but I'm not too nervous about it anymore. And working with kids, I think that I'm more comfortable with public speaking in front of kids than I am adults. It is what it is. Projecting my voice, just probably like right now, I'm not talking loud enough, and I would love to work on adapting quickly and figuring out scenarios for things quicker and in a timely manner. That's kind of what I think sports benefited me with, is that adaptation and adjusting on the fly and all that stuff. I appreciate what I learned from sports and all that. I would focus on my efforts in supporting others, make sure I am demonstrating friendliness, warmth, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual support to all my students and colleagues. I would collaborate with other staff members. I think the collaboration aspect of the INTASC standards are a huge part of success as a new teacher. I would love to just pick their brains and talk to them and go over scenarios that I'm struggling with and see what they can advise. And I think it would be such a great tool to have other teachers and your colleagues around to give you advice and help you. I would stay committed to the standards and be extremely passionate about the profession of teaching and learning. Obviously, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here right now, and I am looking forward to what the future holds. So, number 3, the dispositions to ensure that teachers are all able to accept and adapt to all students. We got to be able to accept the culturally unique and socially, the different social backgrounds, not socially, I apologize for that. We need to be able to understand different social statuses, different cultures, different ethnicities, different races, different backgrounds. We got to be able to pinpoint who and what they're dealing with and see if we can bring out the best in them. I think biases can form that can get in the way of that. I think maybe from people who were raised the wrong way, possibly, or people who were raised in in cities that are not culturally diverse. Um, I actually grew up in New Orleans, so I am very diverse when it comes to my friend group and playing football. It exposed me to tons of different social and economic backgrounds and different ethnicities and races. And I moved to Los Angeles when Hurricane Katrina hit, so Los Angeles is even more diverse than New Orleans was. So I am very good at embracing others and people different than me, different than the white man, and I think that puts me ahead and gives me an advantage on not having any biases towards certain family members or certain types of socioeconomic statuses and all that stuff. So I also played sports, which I mentioned. I was a quarterback. I was the leader of the team, and in New Orleans, it was a very diverse roster, and in LA, it was a very diverse roster, and in Texas and Utah, I've played in multiple states and multiple colleges, and I've always been able to adapt and adjust how I lead a team, how I coach up teammates, and how I deal with different people. It will definitely apply into the education world and the elementary teaching world, and I know that it will be a fun transition, and I'm looking forward to it. But last but not least, how would I utilize the feedback that I would get from the annual performance assessments and student performance evaluations? I would actually look forward to this. Like I touched on earlier, I think I would utilize the teachers that have been at that school for a long time and friends of mine who are teachers already, old coaches who are teachers. I think I would utilize it. It would be a huge learning experience every year. Every year I'd be able to better myself and then make a plan to become a better teacher the next year. I also know that if you don't take these seriously and you don't do the right things and don't teach up to the standards that it's going to show in these tests, and then you're going to have to explain yourself, and you're going to have to um, talk to the people who are higher up and explain yourself. I think that you don't need to I don't think you need to necessarily rely on this feedback, but I think that you need to rely on the standards to continue to hold your classroom at a high level. I think you need to continue to do everything you can to make sure every different type of learner is being taught at the same speed, and they're having the same success as the other students. And if they're not, you can pinpoint that, and I know these annual tests will help with that, and help with my skills, and help with the way I progress as a teacher and a developmental learner. So thank you for your time, Dr. Martino, and I appreciate you, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Have a good one.